Hey, internet. Hey, Twitch. Eventually, hey, YouTube. I have no music running. My apologies. Welcome to the Monster Train Open Invitation Tournament number 6. We are in the semifinals. Just about ready to kick off. There we go. Some kind of music in the background. We're about to kick off game number 1 between Rising Dusk, Gabriet, Loxolotl, and Pahan. And the tournament structure is going to be very similar as it was yesterday for the semifinals. So they'll play 2 games. Their total score across the 2 games will determine who qualifies for the finals. Score is based off of our own unique tournament scoring system. Basic summary is you get 10 points for every ring completed. You get an additional amount of points depending on how much pyre health damage you take. You get points for completing the entire run. You get points for your shards if you complete the entire run. And you get points for flying kills. You will lose points if you have to restart. So, yeah, lots of thick spreadsheets. If you have to restart, you will lose in the first restart all of the points on that ring. If you have to restart twice in a single ring, then you are basically done. So the rest of your run, you will not gain any more points. And it will be considered as a loss for the total score. We did see losses yesterday. We did see restarts yesterday. And we'll have to see how it goes today. I would say I played through the seeds. I'm not going to say how it's going to compare to yesterday. I think it'll be very interesting. First seed that we see up here is Hellhorned with the Hornbreaker Prince plus Umbra with Plink. With me commentating is Codraziel, who played in yesterday's tournament. Had a pretty rough second game. And also I have Sato, a former player who just missed that we were doing the tournament this month, but won before in the past. So welcome, guys. Thanks for joining me. What are your thoughts in this first seed? What would you do with Hornbreaker Prince and Umbra?
I didn't win. I got second.
Oh, you got second. Sorry, Sato.
That's fine. I would hope for Brawler, I think. With like double rage start here. For Brawler.
Yeah, I would definitely be hoping for Brawler here. But failing that, you do have some functionality for something like Reaper. I mean, if it's ever going to work, it's going to be with this selection here. But you have Brawler, or basically your Hornbreaker Prince ends up playing second fiddle to whatever your Umbra and Hellhorned units end up being. I see they do start with a Hellhorned unit, so yeah, I think scaling rage is going to come into play regardless, but whether or not the Hornbreaker Prince becomes like the primary carry or not is highly dependent on whether or not Brawler is available.
There's a little bit of a...
see a pretty...
Exactly.
No, I was just going to say that there's a little bit like... If you wanted to go Wrathful, you could go Wrathful, but you're going to have the problem that the main defense right now is Damage Shield, which counters Revenge triggers. So a little bit of a lack of synergy between those two, but I think for the other two, Rage is always going to be good on the Prince. In terms of other units, I mean, any rare Hellhorned unit's going to be pretty good, apart from Consumer Crowns is his own thing, but I think the others, Apex Imp, I think would be quite good here. I actually like Damage Shield a lot with Apex Imp. Then you can keep his armor up while still defending him quite well. And then, of course, like, Deranged Brute with this much rage is going to be amazing if he shows up. Umbra units are a little bit tough, I think. I mean, they go well with Rage. A lot of the multi-strikers, or I mean, specifically the robot does pretty well with Rage. The others not quite as much. And I think the problem here is like even if you get a really strong Gorger, like Plink is very speculative to get morsels.
With rituals of battle at the start like this, something I would even consider is a morsel maker carry. Purely because scaling damage is no longer an issue. You've got 2 rituals of battle, so you basically get those 2 free jump blockers. If this was Seraph the Patient, I'd be actively looking for a morsel maker carry. But since it's Diligent, you know, anything's fair game here.
Yeah, but you also have damage shields, so I think you could do that if it was Patient Seraph. Like, what Seraph is it this time?
Diligent.
White Seal? Oh.
Assume Diligent.
It's the easiest Seraph, in my opinion.
I think it depends. I think it's the easiest Seraph
I guess.
if you aren't worried about the stealth.
Oh yeah. Flying kill counts, right? Yeah, sure.
The other thing too with the Prince in general, I think you have to be extremely careful taking early shards. Even ring 1, you can die. Like if you take an artifact, get 15 shards, and you have Brawler, and your timing is awful. I mean, here you have the Rituals of Battle, so it's probably not as bad. But in general, like you can die. You can lose ring 1, ring 2 with the Prince. He's not really the greatest. Even with Wrathful, he's not really the greatest tank. So I think that for me would be like one of the biggest things is, can I get a really early tank for my Prince, or some type of like sustained spell early game to make sure that I can make it, into the later rings.
I would really hate to get Wrathful here now that I think about it. There's just so many awkward interactions you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah, agreed. I think definitely Brawler. The only issue with Reaper is the ring 1, ring 2 fight. If you don't get a lot of like good morsels, and I mean we don't know what the ring 1's going to be. Like you could get fights where you just can't plink anyway. This is also one where like if you get armor trial, you just don't take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think there's no, at least I personally wouldn't risk it. I think it would be very dangerous, no matter what Prince you take, to go for a trial here. Specifically that one. If you get something else, if you get like starting units on every floor, that's actually pretty good with Plink. If you get extra damage, might not be terrible because you have the damage shield. But yeah, armor would just be terrible. All right, we are down to just under 2 minutes here, about to hit the 1 minute mark. Cod, would you mind tossing a 1 minute warning into the chat? Yeah. Question is same format? Yep, it's the same format. So it'll be 2 runs. Sum of the total score will determine who qualifies for the finals. The finals will be a single game head-to-head. So there, we won't be playing 2 games. It'll just be the 1 game with 2 players. Best score in that run wins. So hopefully they've had enough time to kind of plan through their run. What we didn't talk about is we do have Daedalus. Depending on your shard count, Daedalus could be pretty easy because Plinks can oftentimes pick off the bombs. If you have higher shards, they're pretty worthless unless you have them upgraded. And then for Arcus, it really depends, I think. Now to 10 seconds before we go. Go ahead and give them a countdown, and they can start in 2, 1, go. And they're off. Let's see what they get. I think a lot of them are going to start with a relic. Ooh, interesting. Oh, interesting. Fossilized Fangs versus Unbroken Horn. And champ picks are Wrathful Reaper.
Jeez. I don't expect to see a lot of Reapers here.
And then Chain of Gems. I think if you take Reaper, Chain of Gems is really good. If you take Wrathful, honestly, I don't know if I think a lot of them are skipping, which I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, skipping, we saw top left, Dusk, he skipped both the Trial and the Artifact. I think that makes a lot of sense. Everyone else took the Artifact. Well, I guess not. We're still waiting to see. Gabriet and Pahan both took the Artifact. And both sitting, trying to decide. Dusk took the Trial. Interesting. He'll take some pyre damage. I don't think he'll be able to kill that many units.
Yeah, that's way too much.
He will get a very angry prince, though. Oh, looks like also now Loxo also took the artifact, and they're all just waiting. So Loxo took Chain of Gems. I didn't see what champion he picked, though. Looks like I see 2 Wrathful Princes, 3 Wrathful Princes. Yeah, there's some damage hitting the pyre there for Dusk. Another Chain of Gems. So 2 Chain of Gems, 1 Collection of Tales. No Trial on Loxo. Gabriet debating.
I mean, it is a unit draft, so it might be worth it down the line.
Yeah, we'll see. Dusk is able to get, with only 5 damage, that's not bad. I think that I would call that a success. So let's jump into the score here.
Basically, another helper and another rich book. That's one hell of a thing to start with.
Yeah, I really wish you had Brawler. This is like the perfect Brawler setup. But, I mean, it's hard for me to not take Fledgling Imp in the current state. It's so strong. You just need to have a tank.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to imagine that with this clan combination, there are less offensive options than there are defensive options later on. So it makes sense to take the offensive options.
Gabriet is able, looks like he's going to be fine. Oh, okay, so Robot, Shadow Eater, Branded Warrior. I don't know if those would be my top picks.
Yeah.
Branded Warrior certainly wouldn't be. The 2 Gorgers are fine. Okay, so we get actually a completely clean kill with Loxo there. So he's going to take the lead right now. Gabriel's taken a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be fine killing the boss. I think with those guys just kind of love tapping him, yeah, he's going to be fine. So he'll end...
I think his heart's going to be broken when he sees what he earned for his 10 pyre health.
Yeah. So Gabriet is going to be in 3rd place, and we're just waiting now to see. Ooh, that's a lot of damage on Pahan there. But I think similar to the others, he should be okay at the end. So the Hellhorned unit was Horned Warrior and Alpha Fiend. Both Dusk and Loxo taking the Horned Warrior here, which I think makes a lot of sense. Alpha Fiend's really tough.
It's a safe early pick.
Yeah. And looks like both are going to go for that 25 health. I definitely agree with that. Just get it to survive in case you get Sweet Boss or something like that.
Yeah, I find also you can then send it away with the Cavern event there. If you find a suitable unit to replace it, then you can send it away with the Cavern event and maybe it becomes something you can use later on or something.
Yeah.
Or you could get like a Shrinky Stone or something like that, and then, your Horned Warrior pretty much becomes something you put a bunch of on the floor and win with.
Alright,
If you
so...
don't attack that, you just short.
All players now finishing Ring 1. We got a tie for last between Pahan and Gabriet. Rising Dusk in 2nd place, and currently in the lead, Loxo, with his early perfect run here. Did they all take Unbroken Horn? Yeah, none of them took Double Gorges. So they're all just counting on basically Hellhorned as a...
I mean, Unbroken does help with that Prismal Dust there for Relentless. Any Ember they don't use gets converted into extra turns, so makes sense.
And I would think, given that you're going against Diligent here, I would consider getting extra Ember, probably at ring 6. But I would take the extra Ember. It's going to have value for the Unbroken Horn, and it's going to have value in just dealing with all of the extra garbage you get.
Yeah, I definitely agree there.
So Dusk is going to take a little bit of pyre damage here. You know, there's a world with that robot or with the Shadow Eater. There's a world where, you know, you don't take the Unbroken Horn, you take the Double Gorges. Get either one of those. Would be a completely different run than what these guys are doing right now. So Dusk taking just 2 damage, not too bad. And he did take the Branded Warrior. Gabriel still pondering what he's going to take here. Pahan also ended up taking the Shadow Eater. Pahan also taking the Branded Warrior, similar to the others. So Dusk does get the kill, only takes 2 damage. So far, Loxo still not taking any damage, so he might take damage here, though. He is able to kill the front unit, but the Prince is dying. So he's got to make a choice here. Oh, interesting. Perils.
If your line collapses the front, it can torch the back as well. So.
Yeah, because it's a piercing, right? And that would, I think, give him enough damage. Yeah, he'll get the kill there.
Nice. Very smooth.
So, Gabriel does have the possibility to get the Shadow Eater with Alpha Fiend, which, if you're not aware, if you're watching, you're not aware, that does actually work. The Shadow Eater's effect is considered as a strike, and you would get the extra damage. I don't know if it would be good, but it would work. Looks like Loxo right on the edge here. I think... Oh yeah, just killing the backliner was enough. So he gets a clean second ring here. That's going to start to separate him from the rest. And he's going to kind of secure his spot in the lead right now. I mean, it's still early game, but... only one able to get through both rings without taking any damage.
It didn't cost himself much to do that. I mean,
no, I mean he took
hindsighty to think about, but
he just didn't take the trial. That was the thing. He didn't take the trial, but he was able to get the artifact. So trade-offs is not bad. And being able to get that chain of gems on your backliner. If you decide to play him first, it could be really solid. So, Perils is tough. Like, obviously getting holdover on Perils is good, especially in a build like this where you have lots of rage. You could get Spell Chain, get you 5 Ember per turn. Really bad if you have Unbroken Horn. You just kind of don't have a relic anymore.
And it's Diligent Seraph.
unless you play the...
Oh, that's right, and you have Diligent.
Other things.
Yeah, I think with Diligent it's really tough.
Yeah,
I
I
might
guess
even
you could.
freeze a Perils here and just use it when I can on a morsel just to build up that last turn Ember.
Yeah.
I mean, then you have to give up your Mind Collapse, which some people have upgraded.
So Loxo choosing to skip taking a unit here. Gabriel with his Shadow Siege. If he can plink that backliner, oh, that's tragic. And his Prince is dying. That's just tragic. That's plink, right? Gonna take a little bit of damage there. I think he still wins if he just plays the Ritual of Battle up top. Yeah, he should be just fine. That guy's hitting 2 hits and he kills the boss. Looking at the bottom floor though, or sorry, the bottom right, Pahan really struggling here. I haven't seen his top floor. I don't know if he's quite there to get the kill. He doesn't have any rage yet. That's the only issue. I think with the rage, he probably gets there. But it is close. Yeah, just barely getting there.
Super close, but you don't want to sacrifice this much of your pyre health really either.
No. Very dangerous.
We didn't get to see what this unit draft was with any of the others. So
It was Demon Fiend. Oh, what was it? There's 2 others. Demon Fiend, Morsel Master, and something else. Not really the best draft. Also, I just realized my scoring is off. Sorry about that, guys. Watch it on stream. Oh!
Shrinky Stone.
Shrinky Stone, though. Man, that Demon Fiend could have been pretty good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how do you predict that, right?
I think it's still worse.
You could have told them.
You think it's still worse? I would say...
Yes. Okay, so...
No, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, because like it doesn't have multi-strike, right? So you basically... And you're scaling with rage, so your base attack doesn't matter as much. Like...
No, I was thinking that you would put it onto the Horn Warrior. And just use it as the super large stone.
Oh.
And then you could have multiple of them.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, that works.
Alright, so Dusk, first one to go into this Daedalus fight. He does have Shrinky, Branded Warrior, Horn Warrior, which is not bad. I mean, you get a few of those on the same floor. That's going to be very solid. You get the chain reaction where they're each just feeding each other more and more.
Yeah, and it's so much more convenient than overstacking with one of Hellhorn's Ascend cards or something like that, because you know you often find these situations where it's like, where is my
Dusk having a tragic tragic blink there, both of them hitting Daedalus. But he is able to get the armor kill. He's able to get the kills with the Horned Warrior. He's looking really solid. That was a lot of rage that he just got onto all of his units. Hitting some plinks now. Gabriel's still sitting at that unit choice. He's really thinking about... Oh, he uses the skip. Okay.
We've got someone planning a huge stone here at Loxolotl, putting the huge stone onto Horned Warrior there, probably hoping that it'll carry him a couple of rings while he gets whatever else he's got planned sorted. I don't mind that, but you know, you see the Shrinky Stone and you immediately feel that power that you get from being able to put so many units on the floor.
Right.
Especially later on, especially against Divinity, you need many hits, right? And if you have like a four space unit, then with like 2 hits, you just won't kill the 4 heavies. I
mean, the nice thing is that you're always gonna be able to have that first floor. It probably won't kill the Wrathful Prince, and then if you have 2 Horned Warriors by that time, like you'll get a good amount of rage stacks just from clearing that one floor. So if you can have a couple of them, I think you're in a good spot. But
that's completely clean there.
Yeah, Dusk, very, very clean there.
Ooh. That's certainly a thing you can see.
That is a big Horned Warrior, man. My goodness. I think that might have been a mistake. I think it's going to be hard to get so much value. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Sato. I think that's the number of strikes I think is more important than the size of the strikes in this case.
Yeah, you dupe him once,
I
and
can't
it's
imagine
immediately.
that they're planning on using that thing. Not forever. That's just going to be like a sort of toss it down and hope it gets somewhere sort of thing.
Yeah,
If
but
that's
you're
their
out of
plan,
units
then-
drafts after Daedalus. I don't know. And with imps in the mix too. Like he has these weather helpers. He has no space to play them in the end. I don't know.
Did you see the unit? It's a deranged brute out of Daedalus.
Well,
Pretty decent unit to have, I think, with this particular build.
yeah, I mean, hands down. Like, you can even offer me any other 2 units in the game right there, and with these rituals of battle and these strikes and stuff going out here, the ranged brute is pretty much a choice out of any unit in the game here.
Right. And, you know, Gabriel was the only one that took the fledgling imp. All the rest took the armor imp. And I kind of feel like the fledgling imp's going to end up being more valuable, but we'll have to see. The one nice thing
They probably
is...
saw their starting cards and thought, well, I don't need more scaling.
Yeah,
That
probably.
old crap.
I'm really interested to see how he's trying to survive later against Divinity or anything. For example, with the fledgling imp, I think it's easier when you have like a weather helper.
I think he's hoping that Shadow Eater will somehow survive with damage shield and all the other stuff you can put onto it. I'm not positive it's going to be enough AoE though. That might be a problem. Depends on if we get like a Shroud Spike or something like that later on.
I think after
we
I
get a
think
shroud
there's a
spike
shot
now.
spike, right? After Daedalus.
Daedalus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that one of the choices? Yeah, I mean that he's going to benefit from that more than anybody else.
And there was also short mitosis, which would also work, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Might even be better. It's debatable, I think.
Yeah.
Like, does he have? That's just channel gems, right? Yeah. No, he doesn't. Okay.
I don't think Lox's unit at the top there is going to struggle here.
He should be fine killing Daedalus, but this is already kind of giving you a sign of things to come.
That it's-
And yep, he's getting the kill, but it's still very suspect, I think, at this point. So he does get the clean kills. He's going to maintain his lead for now.
Shadow Siege.
I mean, if he's able to kill backline consistently, I think you can make this work.
I don't know how he kills the backline, though. I think this is going to be the hard part. Oh, he chose to take... okay. He chose to take the... what is it called? The Rage spell. Gabriel actually looking really solid against Daedalus here. And that's going to be a clean kill for Gabriel.
I'm really curious about it because my opinion about Shadow Eater goes up and down
Depending on the
every
day.
time I play him. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's a really weird
Like
unit.
a lot of Umbra units, it takes some doing to play around with it. It's not just
I think this
you
choice
put
is hard.
this thing on the floor.
Especially for his build. Like, I think the others just auto snap pick Dark Deal. But for Gabriel, like, both of them are really, really solid for him.
Especially you have to. Nah, he doesn't have the damage shield relic, right? So he can't play top floor with short mitosis divinity. Okay, it's a long way to go, but
The one nice thing, too, is that they do have Chain of Gems, so you can still play top floor and not have to worry. That might be a good indication of why you should take the mitosis, because the mitosis will also have them keep the damage shield.
I think Gabriel doesn't have it though, right? He only has.
Oh, you're right. He
Yes,
took
he-
the rage.
What's it called again?
The collection of tales.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's tough. I didn't even realize that. I thought everyone took it, but nope. He does have.
And I think playing bot for divinity is
It's scary.
rough.
It's less scary if you have one priority unit because you can kind of like predict. But with two priority units, I think it becomes very, very challenging.
And mid floor, yeah, the space reduction. I think Umbra really is through all these changes that they did, Umbra really suffered a lot. Like the mid floor reduction, like
Yeah.
top floor, the sweep later on, and I don't know. And
It-
Umbra's, unless you have like short spikes, Umbra's pretty slow, I think, at scaling.
I mean, without
Because
it's also
most
kind of
of the late-
emphasized, like as you said, it's pretty slow, which is why I think you can kind of get away with Primordium these days. But like, yeah, with Penumbra or a secondary clan, especially, Umbra is really in a tough spot.
Oh yeah, Dusk didn't take the Gen of Gems either.
Yes.
Oh, haste comets! I hate haste comets.
Yes.
I think the whole mechanic is just, I don't know. Like a lot of decks are slow, and once you kill one, you have to kill everyone, every single one of them. Those haste enchanters, right?
Yeah, this is looking pretty.
Because otherwise
Tough.
you may just make it worse. I don't know. And now that they start with like damage shields too, I don't know.
As someone who takes a lot of sketches, I really hate haste.
Yeah, that's true too. And there's a lot of other artifacts like mine, the thing that gives capacity in the mid floor.
Yeah, Mind Jacks.
Yeah, there are others that support mid floor strats, and yeah, it just doesn't work.
This is pretty brutal. I mean, Vent will help a bit. It'll kill off the one guy, but he's losing his Deranged Brute, which is a huge source of his damage.
Are Rising Dust guys quick? No, right?
No, they're not quick.
Yeah, we.
I think you
But-
still
but
have
you
to
see,
Vent here.
That's exactly what I mean. Like now he overstacked enemies on the top floor, right?
Yes.
That's, I don't know. Really don't like the mechanic. Especially now with shards, it's really hard to kill them consistently.
It's why you see the damage numbers are so low. Even though, like right now, visually you see their rage being really, really powerful. The moment that Deranged Brute dies, their rage is going to drop. Which is why, I mean, normally they should be, with the amount of strikes that he's doing, they should be clearing most of that floor by themselves, but
I'm wondering if it's right to play Deranged Brute like in the middle, not in the front.
yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
I think that's something I've run into a lot too. Like when you have, or like when you have like Wilton, for example, or something, just play him backline instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Predator, you
Quick
mean.
or something.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing here.
No, it's exactly right. And Deranged Brute used to, pre-DLC, used to have enough health because the enemies just weren't doing that much damage. But now, with all of the damage you are taking, he's really not that great of a tank.
I guess with Quick it works. Like when you have like Quick and like a Weather Helper or something, or damage shields.
Even that Welder Helper, really, like, if that's going to be a part of your strategy, it needs to have Endless. And
Yeah.
you need to have a consistent way of killing it off. Luckily, they do have torches, so that will help. Yeah, Loxo, I kind of agree with this as well. I don't think you take this trial. What artifact are you going to get that's going to completely change your game here, right? Like, I think that's the mistake. Without the multi-strike, Dusk is in a much more favorable position.
Like, yeah, like this, that's true too. Like the Haste Comet oftentimes has either the attack buff or the multi-strike trial, right?
Yes.
Which makes this even scarier. Like, those guys already spawn with multi-strike, and you give them an additional multi-strike, or like an additional 6 attack, right?
Yes.
And they swarm your top floor from like turn 2. Oof. It's...
They do get offered Brawler as the second choice here in case we missed that. I don't know if we did or not.
And that's another tough choice. Like, there, part of me is like, you just take Brawler and make it your backliner, but at the same time, like, you just don't, like, it's the same amount of health, right? Effective health. It's armor, so it's a little bit different, but it's 25 health versus 15 health. He opts to take a Brawler.
I actually like having one level of Wrathful in my Brawler sometimes. Like when you need that, like when you play top floor Divinity and he just sustains himself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost.
I think at
it's
this
almost like
point-
emergency scaling.
Yes.
At this point, I don't know. Did Pahan take the deranged brute?
He did, and he took the capacity so that he could fit it. Oh, Pahan. I don't know. I don't know what he took.
I think Pahan is interesting. None of his cards are Divine Master. it's interesting.
Oh, Gabriel able to get the
He
kill
just
here with the
reset.
Prince. I think he probably has enough damage scaling he can go without. He also didn't take the trial, which I think is really smart.
Dusk is still at this turn.
He got,
Trying to figure out what he does.
Quickly.
yeah, he was able to kill off the quick. The problem is now, as you said, the boss is coming next.
And that's a lot of damage too. Like I usually, okay, and this
Oh my.
assignment is rough, but I usually don't ping any of them.
Gabriel,
And
he's
he
got
has
the he got the floor of death. He just puts the welder helper in the back though, and he clears everything. Oh, that works too.
And Gabriel has the same problem now, right? He just overstacked an enemy floor.
And I think he might have yeeted the Shadow Eater. Because I didn't see it come up, and you'd think it would be out there if he had played it.
Oh, he was able to kill the whole floor. Wow.
And wow, so 43 damage taken, but he does get through the fight for Rising Dusk here. No damage taken for Loxo. Still clean this whole run so far.
Yeah, his big Horde Warrior is carrying right now, right? That's exactly what we said.
Once that
I think it falls
Heatstone
off after Arcus,
effectiveness
probably.
falls off,
Yeah, exactly.
then
Yeah.
suddenly things aren't so great anymore. But for now, it's great.
Gabriel also able to get a clean kill there. So Loxo's definitely got the lead, but I think he's definitely got the most speculative build going on right now. I haven't seen shard counts right now, so we're seeing 55, 50, 55, 70. So Pahan definitely a little bit more extended here with his shards compared to the others. But I mean, he's got a really solid floor there. He's got Prince with multi-strike. Like that's good. I would maybe consider frontlining with the Prince instead, is my only change, because then the Prince is more likely to get those kills. Yeah, he would sustain a little bit better with the arm. Oh, yes, he does have the Prince up front. What am I talking about? I'm an insane person. But I think he's still going to be just fine, even if the Prince dies. He has a lot of damage.
But he did it. He did play the Deranged Brutes in the middle of the two.
Yeah.
What was?
He's got the same issue all of them had, which is the next floor is going to be the floor of death.
Yep.
Now, I think you
just merged the unit onto his Horned Warrior there, which now he's really committing to this Horned Warrior, and I don't know that that's.
Oh wow! Off the money on Railhammer. That's so good with Brawler Wrathful Prince, but just doesn't have enough money unless he takes. Oh, actually, I think he doesn't have enough money. I don't know if there's any other way for him to get money too before the next floor. Hey, and also Dusk, he took the what is it? Morsel Damage Shield was available.
Yeah, I think it's even if you're not using morsels mainly, it's still a good defensive relic, right?
Yeah.
Like you get a lot of jump blocking, I think. Like his Deranged Brute died last time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, having more defensive options is probably good.
So he will be able to get a couple hits.
Oh, I love Trap Shoot. Sorry.
I think Pahan gets the kill here. He does. Nice. So all of them, I think, did that pretty clean. Yeah, no damage taken. So they're all getting pretty close in terms of points now. I think I missed a Pahan Daedalus fight. I think he was clean on the Daedalus fight. We'll need to go back and check that, but I'm pretty sure he was clean.
I think it was clean, yeah. Not 100% sure though. Either. Sorry.
So the one thing he could do, looking at Loxo, one thing he could do is if he did get 1 or 2 extra strikes on the deranged brute itself, that might be able to get him there.
Yeah, I think his main problem right now is he might need to go double capacity, right?
Yeah.
Which limits his options a lot. I don't know.
He'll very, very, very slowly go through his deck, and with Diligent especially, the last thing you want is a turn where you got some garbage, you get one of your garbage that's already in your deck, like you only have 5 cards you're drawing. That's going to be pretty bad.
Yes, exactly.
He opted
And it's
for
small
Have a
balls, right?
holdover at that point as well.
he opted for Hell's Banners. I don't know. I guess that's for a good first turn, but
No, he does have Unbroken Horn too, and extra cards, and Witch of Battles.
I guess that's right. Yeah.
I love Hell's Banners. I think it's
great too, but I would only take it if I knew I could guarantee pretty consistent triggers.
He does have imps. Maybe he gets endless on them. I don't know.
So far, they're all looking pretty good in this Ring 5. We haven't seen the boss come. Oh, yeah, still Pahan's still just picking from his last one. Yeah, none of them have gotten through it yet. I kind of would have liked Imp in a Box with adding an extra capacity for a lot of them, just to get something to go in front sometimes. But I don't know. Dusk probably has the setup, I think, has the most consistency. You just have your 2 Horned Warriors. I mean, you got, I think he even has an extra multi-strike on them. So they're hitting 3 times. That's 6, 7 strikes if you include Deranged Brute. So even if the Prince dies, you still have tons of strikes. You can get damage shield pretty easily. He can chump block with morsels. Like, that seems pretty solid. I think the biggest concern is going to be against Divinity itself. I don't know that he can play top floor, because they don't have a lot of health, and they're not going to get a lot of health unless he gets days.
Depending on how much shards he takes, like if Seraph still has stealth on the floor, I guess he has some damage shields maybe then. I don't know.
He does have the trap shoot, so if he can remove consume, that is a way. And tiresome climb is offered.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, then I think he's probably in a very decent shape to win this round.
Ooh, Gem Trove. That's interesting. Another way. So, both, by the way, in the meantime, Loxo and Gabriel both clean on Ring 5.
Is he? Yeah, okay. Oh, 300 damage, yeah.
And yeah, he's definitely a good spot here. Plus, he can chump block with a morsel if he wants, or get the lifesteal, and the thing will just heal back to full anyway. So, definitely think we're going to see a clean kill here, and it's really going to come down to how they perform against Seraph and Divinity.
You know what I mean? They seem to be plugging the holes that we were just talking about. So if we talk about more problems with their builds, they'll probably find a solution.
Oh man, I don't know if you guys saw the artifact there. Double summon triggers.
Yeah, that's
Now that Fledgling
That's
Imp
something.
becomes really solid. I think you gotta go double summons here if you're planning to use that welder helper at all. It's so valuable. All right, Gabriel, first one to jump into the Arcus fight. Looks like Dusk is not too far behind. Oh, interesting. So Dusk opted to take the Impish Scholar. I don't hate that at all. I think that could be really solid.
To get back damage shields, maybe.
Yes, exactly.
And it's good against Consume Seraph, because now you can remove more cards, basically.
Yes.
Because you can return your cards.
In general, I think Impish Scholar gets a bit of a bad rap. It's fairly underrated for how much power you can get from having the right consume cards. I mean, I guess it's like, you know, do you have those cards? If not, then don't take him. But
So
get them later.
Gabriel having to make a choice here. He duped the Horned Warrior, but he doesn't have the increased capacity yet. I'm also a little bit concerned if he's only going to have just enough space to fit those units. What is he going to do with an Imp?
Like, I think you just ditch the Hornbreaker for now. That's what I would have done, probably.
Just sack it somewhere.
Yeah. Or, I don't know, use it to pre-hit enemies a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, because you want those slays with, I think they have most of them have the Deranged Brute. Or not Deranged Brute, the, what is it called? The gain rage on slay. Most of them have that as their infusion on their Horned Warriors. I don't know if Gabriel does. I didn't see what he infused it with, but
Sure. But it is infused with something.
yes.
I would assume...
It's slay
it's
trigger.
probably
You can
not
see
Slay
it.
either.
No, you can see it's slay. You can see the slay indicator on his legs.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Interesting. So, I mean, that one Horned Warrior is actually doing work there on the bottom. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, just surviving. I think now it does make sense. I think you do pivot to your top floor. Okay, so we have Dusk and Loxo getting into that Arcus fight as well. Pahan still finishing off this Ring 5. My guess is his build is probably similar to the others enough that we should see similar results. And Loxo's two-man band going to have to do a lot of work here because that Prince is not long for the world. Although, the nice thing is that this early wave is pretty weak. Dusk opting to kind of do your strategy there and sack the Prince, which I think makes sense. It's not providing a ton of value right now.
Yeah, it's also one more capacity. And he has imps in a stack, right? Same
Yes.
with Gabriel's. He does have imps too, so he can't play them right now. I don't know.
Chooses to trap shoot.
Probably. I've forgotten who's taken the Impish Scholar.
That was a Dusk, yeah. So Gabriel, he does get the kill here. Pahan also having a clean kill on Ring 5. I mean, they're all looking really well right now. Like, it's really just.
Furnace tap.
Oh man, can you take Furnace Tap in this build though? Like, I don't think you can legitimately take it, and I don't know that the only one I could see that would maybe need it is Loxo. The rest have enough strikes. Like, they don't need more strikes. They need scaling on those
also-
strikes.
Loxo also has the health banner, so the Ember Drain might not be as bad.
Hmm.
Like, you could stack up some Ember when you play your Furnace Tap, and you might still have some left, and then you, I don't know, play 2 morsels or whatever. I think he might have to take it, yeah.
He's got the holdover perils there, Dusk, so he'll benefit from that.
At least until
Oh,
it gets
yeah.
consumed.
He's got
Parachopper,
that
not
impact
bad.
Back, so it's not the end of the
So
world.
Gabriel did opt to take the extra capacity, which I think makes sense. I think he's trying to hit his endless. He does get it. I would put it on the fledgling imp. Sorry, other around. I would do. I don't think getting armor on the entire floor. Well, he obviously thinks differently. I don't think that getting armor on the entire floor is necessarily going to be as good as just getting on the front unit, but I guess the thought would be it's a divinity sustain. My concern would be, can you kill it off? And currently they don't have a good method of killing it off without like torching it or something like that.
I mean, you just have to sustain them until you find your dazes, right?
Yeah.
Against divinity.
But none of them took the days that I saw. They some. Oh no, actually I lied. You can see tiresome climb right there in Loxo's build. But the rest, I don't know. Did they all take tiresome climb?
I think Gabriel did, right? No? Not sure.
Opts for quick on his deranged brute. Interesting.
Yeah. I guess he gets rage from the slays.
I see Pahan also has the tiresome climb there, so yeah, they probably took it. The only one I think maybe didn't was Dusk because he already has the days. And there we go. That's a clean ring 6 for Loxo. So he hasn't taken any damage this entire run.
I guess this one warrior has 3 strikes already, right?
Yes.
I think he's fine. Still, even the late game.
And he's got the holdover perils and the furnace tap, so he's fixed that little.
As long as he can just play something else first, right? He just needs to make enough zero-cost spells that he can, you know, get the prevent the perils of production getting consumed. But there's a lot in here.
I think he played his
Yeah,
perils
so as-
on Moses and things, right?
Ah,
So-
yeah, that's right. That's right. That makes a lot of
I
sense.
think that's what he did, because he always had like 11 or 12 Ember each turn.
Mm.
If he can do that consistently against Diligent Setup.
Oh, that is a Transcendent.
Ui.
That's going to bring back a lot of consume cards.
Yes. And give him a lot of... Oh, that's another Transcendent.
Sadly, we're not playing Wormkin right now.
No.
But he has. Oh yeah,
The
yes, yeah.
cycle's broken.
He did get the Ember and. Oh no.
Prismal Dust. I think he might. I think he might finish this off okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, so that's another clean finish for Dusk.
Oh, Gabriel took Kindle. Just saw that.
Kindle Gem.
Considering putting remove consume.
I mean, it makes sense if you can get permafrost on it and just get a massive amount of damage shield. Like that might just be enough to survive the rest of the run.
Yeah.
Especially with Unbroken Horn, right? You can just kind of chill and stack it up slowly and then double big damage shield and done. Let's see what he opts here, whether he's going to do that now or if he's going to... he's going to dump the Ember now.
Like it might be less complicated in comparison to what Dusk is doing right now. Like returning his spells over and over and over again.
Yeah. Pahan also getting a clean kill.
Yeah.
He's hovering, trying to decide what to go for here.
But Payan's damage output seems lower, slightly, than like Dusk's, for example. Like he only has like one unit which does like 300 damage times
Hmm.
X, chemistry, or the others are always low. I don't know. Does he have a different infusion? I didn't see it.
I don't. He doesn't have the slay trigger.
That's probably it.
Gabriel having a lot of problems just trying to keep these guys alive right now. This is why I kind of think putting the Prince up front would make more sense, because you are going to be able to sustain a bit better. I don't think he can save that front Horned Warrior. No, he's gonna let it. He's gonna let it go. But he's able to clear the floor, so he should be fine against the boss. It is the living armor, so pretty easy boss to fight with this much damage. Although Prince is also in a tough spot.
Yeah, but this is also a high damage output fight. Like all the extinguish triggers, the multi-strikers.
Yeah, he is able to chump block with one morsel. I don't think that's gonna save him. It's only going to take an 11 damage trigger. Yeah, he's going to opt to get the lifesteal. And all those strikes are still enough to kill off the entire floor.
Yeah.
The one-horned warrior probably can do enough. But it's kind of tough. He's going to be able to get more armor here with the AoE on the welder helper. Yeah, toss a train steward in there for good measure. And he should be just fine. Yeah, he's able to clear.
But you can ping off the guys in front.
All right, that's another clean one, Gabriel. Really tight race here. It's really going to come down to who took the most amount of damage and who has the highest amount of shards. You can see Dusk like pretty far behind the others in shard count. Gabriel clearly the winner on the race to 200.
Yeah, but that only counts if he's able to win.
That's very true. That's very true. He's got to finish the run.
Again, right now, he was struggling with defense at least.
Yeah, he was losing a lot of well, he lost both the Prince and the Horned Warrior. I think that gets easier if he just doesn't play the Prince on that floor. And instead just opts to have space for his imps. Maybe even duping the imp.
Just to suck it, right?
Yeah.
For like 2 turns front or whatever. I think that's... Or he... I don't know. Doesn't have the space to play Prince instead of a Horned Warrior, right?
The other thing they also, I think, need to be concerned about is the bottom floor garbage, right? Like, do they switch and pivot to a bottom floor setup against Seraph? Risk, you know, like your guys are doing tons of damage, but the boss will have stealth. So they're going to have to make some tough choices.
I think that's bait, usually.
To play the bottom floor?
Seraph.
It's pretty tough early, though. If you think about that, how much they're relying on getting damage shield, on getting their rage out early. Like, if they don't get anything, that could be really tough. And you'll get, if you don't touch it at all, that's three you're going to get by after the second round. So they got
snowballs, right?
Yeah, I mean, they do have things like vent, and you can torch, you can dark deal. There are options, but that is definitely a transcend imp.
I think Rising Dust took Ember, so I think he's more likely to be able to pull off like a top floor setup more consistently.
I like Gabriel picking up the Prism Retrieval here. Being able to set up all your units on the first turn is such a boon if you can afford it Ember-wise.
Did he get intrinsic on it?
Well, I guess that's the question. It's also another way to draw your imps later on. If you draw that first, you've drawn your first imp basically. So
yeah,
a lot of value from Prism Retrieval with these sort of non-banner units.
Got a clean ring 7. Clean ring 7 on Loxo. So again, continuing his perfect run so far.
His Top Warrior does so much damage, I don't think he's going to have problems killing units at least.
It's all about survival.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, I guess there were multiple things he could have found to solve his strikes issue. Trample being one of them.
Whoa! I don't know if
Oh,
you
just
saw
look at
Pahan just drop his his spike or Awoken's rail spike. Pretty
10, yeah.
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I think Gabbard was looking at a very interesting artifacts store. What was that one called again?
Yeah, trinket store.
Trinket store, yeah. With like the Rage Relic and like Daze and melee weakness on the first turn, which I think could be very valuable to get your slays off.
I think that's the crown's certainly the least valuable out of the three.
Yes, I think so too.
Resonant Shard also loses a little bit of value when you have a deranged brute because the marginal impact is quite low, but he opts to take it anyway.
You want to go for flying kills, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's an option.
I
Like, it just
definitely
adds up,
like the
right?
days there with how it interacts with consumed Seraph as well. That one turn of not getting garbage is oftentimes a very big benefit in that one.
Oh yeah. That's another reason to pick it up. I usually like this relic. Like Daze and melee weakness on turn 1.
I think it really depends on the build, but I agree, especially against Diligent, it's quite good. Other, like Patient, it's pretty bad. And it can be pretty useful against Divinity, though, because those first floors, having the melee weakness, can help to get some of those frontliners killed off. I mean, they start with like, what, 60 health, I think, plus sometimes armor, depending on how many shards you have, so can be very useful. Let's...
It solves the 2-unit banner issue because they're dazed, right?
Yes.
So it's easier to set up bottom floor in the first place.
Pahan also getting a clean finish here. Dusk as well.
But I would think that Dusk is looking to play top floor Divinity with the stasis. I'm not sure though.
Forever Flame. In the bottom left there. It's not much value here, but it's definitely for being able to trigger health banners and save your bacon from time to time.
Mindjacks, though, would open up possibilities for Lox because he would then actually be able to play another unit on that floor. And he wouldn't have to deal with Divinity. He'd have to deal with the multi-strike, but he wouldn't have to deal with the constant AoE.
Yeah. But the multi-strike is scary too.
Well, he's
It's sometimes
pausing
scarier
for
than a
now.
sweep.
Well, everyone's down to this same area. Gabriel's a little bit further ahead, already jumped into that Seraph fight.
Still opts to play his Stormbreaker on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically a deranged brute. Kind of. With armor gain now. Instead of rage. On the
Yeah.
whole floor.
What do you... I guess you could put an armor imp on a deranged brute would be a thing if you wanted. Also, let me look at shard count. So Gabriel's at... Is that 190 or is that 170? Let me zoom in really quick. 170.
Quite small.
We have... Well, the others aren't finished yet. Once they're done, I'll quickly check their pyre shards. But I think Gabriel was ahead earlier. Dusk seems like he has the least. Maybe similar with Loxo, but... and Gabriel so far getting pretty lucky, but is able to deal with all the garbage he's got. Mostly with that mind collapse. He opts not to play the Horned Warrior, so he's going to wait to play the Horned Warrior until he's got the space. I think his goal is to try to keep these guys alive with this imp. Seems to be working okay so far. Gonna just yeet a torch. And now it's a tough call. Do you go for the sustain with the branding right, or do you take Ritual of Battle? I think he wants to try to get that first unit, but he's still not going to be able to kill it quick, unfortunately. But he's able to clear the floor. Just checking. So Loxo with 125 shards. He's going to be probably the least amount of shards. Dusk with 135. So there's a possibility that he can't come back all the way, but Gabriel can minimize some of that gap if he's able to clear the run with this amount of shards. That's going to be about 6 extra points compared to Loxo. And Dusk, if Dusk perfects it, he's still sitting in that last position. Question is anyone actually going to struggle getting the kill here? That's the mystery. Gabriel certainly is going to have the biggest challenge out of the group. But at least on the Seraphite, it seems to be okay so far. And Pahan still just kind of going through the shops. Rest running into this Seraphite.
Gabriel already in Relentless here, so he looks...
No flying kill. Do you get daze here? I mean, it's only 1 daze, but it is an entire floor where you don't have to worry about daze. Or do you just bring up one of these other guys to get him killed off to make it a little bit easier later? Well, let's see if anyone ends up taking pyre damage just from blights. I think Gabriel's going to get it clean here. Only got 1 floor left, and yep, he got it. So that's going to be a clean finish for Gabriel on the Seraphite. So far,
Just playing with this quality,
of course, you're playing Monster Train. It's the only way to play. Loxo has not taken damage yet. Dusk gonna take some damage here. He has no way to generate Ember.
Armor for the last fight there. He's the only one that's going to get that. No, wait. Pahan also has the opportunity here to get the armor at the last.
Pahan at 170 shards as well, so he's tied with Gabriel on shard count. That is a lot of Ember for Pahan down there. Opening turn. So he could get all the damage shield that he would ever need. The question is that enough? I think, yeah, Tiresome Climb makes a lot of sense just to avoid having to get that early garbage. Later on, I think it's not such a big issue. I would even be tempted to not play the Prismal Dust right now. Is he going to dump or not? That's the question. In the bottom left, we see Loxo debating around this Furnace Tap if he's going to play it or not.
I would play it, yeah, because if you can manage this floor, you can manage the next one, and then you're back into a point where you're actually getting Ember again. So
He could also draw his Perils or his Mind Collapse to get Ember.
And it's only 4 Ember Drain. He didn't double stack it, so I think it's not a huge risk at this point.
But you see what you meant, right? He had so much Ember that he still has 2 left, even after playing the Furnace Tap.
Yes.
So I guess next turn is going to be.
Ooh, we have a leak here for Pahan on the top floor, but he should be able to clear it as long as he just gets some rage out. Yeah, he's able to clear that. Oh, there's 2 garbage. And he can just play the 2 garbage. Opts to take 1 pyre damage or another hit from the pyre. Yeah, it's not how it works. All right, so Gabriel and Divinity, so far so good. It's the second wave. He is losing just the imp right now. I think
clean on Seraphe.
Yeah, so we have to just see. We have to see how he does against Divinity, but so far his strategy has been working.
I think he has a very good shot at winning. Like,
and just a reminder to viewers, so it's going to be the combined score of this and the next game will determine who qualifies for the finals. And going into the second game, there's not going to be like a huge gap, I think. I think everyone's going to be able to clear Divinity. It's going to be these little point differences. So we're going to have a very close game 2. We'll have to see how much the spread goes in game 2, whether they're able to put together as solid runs as we've seen here.
Pahan just
I
took
really
1 damage.
like the intrinsic tiresome climbs from Lox there. It's it's something you have to learn after many runs where you just
Yes.
don't draw your tiresome climb.
Yeah.
Especially now they die in 2 hits, right? Oh no, Loxo does have the big one, right? I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Also, I didn't check. Dusk only took the 1 damage, right? But he did take 1 damage. So he's going to be just a
And
little bit
Pahan.
behind.
And Pahan did take 1 as well to a curse.
I think it was a little bit more than that. It might have been 8 damage is what I saw.
Yeah, I didn't see the others, so we'll see now maybe. If he doesn't click it away too fast. Okay.
And just the 2 damage, yep.
It was 2.
And Gabriel got a clean finish on Divinity.
Oh.
So, yeah, very close scores here. Very, very close scores. Lox, like, let me update his finish here. So Gabriel with a finish, no flying. Oh wait, did he get a flying kill? I didn't see.
Oh, I'm not sure. Does someone have the game?
15.6k is a flying kill.
It's +5.
I think Lox's problem is that he's not going to get the flying kill. I think.
3
What's the
turn
setup?
boss rush.
3-turn boss rush on Divinity.
Divinity.
Okay, so that might bridge the gap if Lux was not able to get the flying kill.
I think he doesn't have enough strikes with this 1 horned warrior to get through all of this.
Yeah.
But I think he's within the range of being able to clear everything between the deranged brute and the horned warrior. 5 strikes with the furnace tap, 4 without. I think he should be okay. Ah, there we go. Moment of truth. Plink. Plink or lose. Oh, he nails it. Plink coming through.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
I still think Foghorn Power is worse than Plink's.
They're both equally frustrating.
Like Plink's at least has 2 shots to hit, right?
All right, so now, I mean, this is going to be the moment. He'll be able to get a lot of damage right here because of the furnace tap. But yeah, I don't think he's going to have quite enough. The question is, do the others as well? I think they're more likely to get it. They have a lot more strikes. Dusk seems to be, out of the 3 remaining ones, the most likely to get it. And it really comes down to, like, how much damage can he output specifically in... this is where I think you bring up a unit here just to make sure that you don't have to rely on a Plink. think you bring one of the armor gain ones up to the top. He should still be able to get the kill. And Dusk looking pretty solid. Although he doesn't have days, his backliner is kind of a struggle here. His backliner is only 2 hits away from dying, so he'll need something to sustain there. Pahan's, wow, that's a lot of damage right now. His build's looking really solid. He should get the flying kill. And that was like 3-4 strikes against Seraph. And little scary here for Loxo with damage on the. He's out of damage shield. He's gonna need something to survive the next fight. I think you bring up the shield wing, right? Oh, he's gonna send him to the pyre. I don't know about that.
Next turn, his Horn Warrior hits the spikes too.
Yeah. I would probably bring up, kill him.
Mind collapse. It could have just mind collapse.
You might need to bring up the multi-striker behind the boss, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, if he was able to kill the boss now, that would be awesome, right? Also, Pahan getting a clean kill, flying kill.
Like, how many clans are actually able to do that? It's Melting Remnant? Which clan has instant kill cards? It's just Melting Remnant, right?
Awoken. Provided.
No, I think
I guess you have to be Melting Remnant for that to happen.
personally, I think the easiest one is Spine Chief, but yeah, I think they're gonna bridge the gap here with most of them getting the flying kill onto Seraph, and that should bridge to get him a lot closer. Loxo's probably not going to be able to get it. In fact, it's either now or never.
Yep.
Oh, and he's not actually killing Divinity.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
He didn't have to sustain on his deck. Yeah.
I mean, even losing these points with the win, I don't know what he could do differently to pull this off, though.
I mean, mid floor is even worse. Even if you have the capacity.
That's tough.
Shield versus spikes.
Having his brute in front probably doesn't help either.
So he's going to have to restart there.
Like, he doesn't have dazes, right? He doesn't have...
And he's only got 7 minutes left. He's at the time limit almost now.
I think his biggest problem is that he wasn't able to build up Ember for his X cost here. He damaged shield card. Forget the names.
Yeah, the
Prismal Dust.
Prismal Dust.
I think that's probably his biggest problem here. I guess he has dazes, right? Like, maybe he just needs to send things to the pyre instead.
Yeah, allow the
Just
pyre
take
to do that. Or, I mean, like he's doing now, not even playing the rage so that he has enough time to build up. Like right here, he does not need to play the damage shield right away. He can wait and try to build up even more.
And now he has 139 pyre life. He can do whatever he wants with.
Yes.
He's already,
Yes, that's right.
I mean, he already had a reset now, right? So taking a little fire damage might not be so bad.
Well, it doesn't change anything for his score if he does. So just spend that fire health.
Is Dusk going to get the flying kill? This is a question. He's only got 2 more turns, or 2 more rounds. He's got to do it on that mini-boss floor. Well, you know, he should be fine. And look at the damage right now. He'll get even more next time. He should be good. Especially if he gets another Transcend Imp.
I like Rising Dusk's Impish Scholars.
Yeah, I think it's really
Bringing
smart.
back his Daze cards, bringing back Rage. More Imps.
He should be able to get the flying kill now. If he dark deals... it's not really the imps that you want there. But dark deal plus the rage, I think is just enough to get the kill. Oh yeah, especially if you just bring a unit out of the way. That's one more hit.
Genau.
Oh, but he doesn't get the kill. The rage from the kill also. It's actually worse.
Uh-oh.
That's hilarious. Wow.
It's always surprising. Like you do something, like there's so many situations in this game where you do something and you think, yeah, that's obviously going to help, and suddenly you don't kill the boss anymore. Or...
He's getting the kill here though, so he's good. we got another flying kill, barely at the final point, but he does get it. And it was also clean for him.
Do we still have the tiebreaker? Like if they have the same score?
If they have the same score, I'll go through and check speed, but I don't think we're gonna. Okay. I would be surprised. Well,
yeah.
Maybe I'll be surprised.
Yeah, it's unlikely.
All right, so looking okay so far. He's got a lot more damage shield this time, certainly than before. Would one of you message him and just ping him to let him know that he is dangerously close to running out of time? He's got 3 minutes left before his run. He'll just end it at this point. He just needs to play through as quickly as possible.
Can you do that, Con?
Yeah,
you had 2 Discords open, right?
Yeah, I should have
I need to
mentioned that.
complete.
That's what I was doing.
I only have one screen. It's a little bit.
He's close though. He's close. He is opting to use his pyre for as a resource, which I think makes a lot of sense. The flying kill also doesn't matter. He just needs to survive. So he's able to get another 10. That should be enough. The problem is he's going to hit this boss a bunch of times and lose a lot of his damage shield. Oh yeah, he's losing almost all of it. Better. Although if he kills the backliner, that's a lot of the hits off. It's still not looking great.
It's close. Yeah, but
I don't think it's going to be enough. He needs kind of a miracle here. He does have damage shield. He does have damage shield possible, and he can yeet a guy up. Oh no, you don't yeet divinity. You got to yeet the armor up front. He's not going to make it.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
So close.
Having been in a similar position myself yesterday, I can only help but feel for that loss there at the end.
But
I really need to watch these bots.
Well, very close though. He's going to come in behind the others, but not like. I mean, if you consider like we had Sanguine Penguin down almost 100 points, only being down 33 points. That's definitely a gap you can overcome, especially if in the second game we have a lot of players that are struggling to finish. With that, we're going to go back out on break for a little bit, and we will start the next round in another... we'll be back probably in like 6 minutes or so, but the round will start at the half hour.